Hi, John. This is Jeremy. I'm with XYZ Company, and the reason why I called was, click, you sound like everybody else who's ever tried to cold call them, because that's what you've all been trained. They just instantly categorize you as salesperson trying to sell me, and it triggers fight or flight mode. So you want to sound different in a way that actually triggers curiosity. I'm going to show you how to do this. Yeah, is this John? Yeah, John, this is just Jeremy Miner. I was wondering if you could possibly help me out for a moment. Now let's stop right there, okay? Why do I stutter? Why do I say Because all of you salespeople have been taught that you gotta be 100% enthusiastic and 100% confidence. And because you sound like every other salesperson that's been trained to that, your prospect thinks you are a salesperson. You know what people are gonna say when you do that? They're like, sure, how can I help you? Or what's this all about? So when I act confused, it triggers curiosity.
How you say things is more important than the words you say. I agree with all of this. I too, like Jeremy, will insert ums and other filler words into a conversation with the prospect to better express how I'm feeling.
Raise your hand if you ask this question when you get on Zoom.
How you doing today? How's your day going? How's the weather over there? Oh, did you watch the game last night? Oh, I love baseball too.
Be honest, I bet everybody does this, don't you? Guess how the prospect interprets that most of the time?
I'm trying to get you to like me so I can sell you my product and service.
Because every salesperson that's ever tried to sell them anything asks what question? Do you want to be in that same category in their mind?
I agree with all of this. Small talk and rapport at the start of a sales call, it actually has a negative impact in booking next steps, booking that next meeting with the prospect at the end of a call. When I'm on a WebEx or a Zoom with the prospect, it's the first time I'm meeting them and they hop into the room, I'll kick the call off and I'll say, hey Chris, it's great to meet you. Chris, are we expecting anyone else from your team today? I get right down to business. I'm not messing around. Prospects appreciate that because I want to make sure the time we have together is well spent and I'm not wasting the first 5 to 7 minutes asking stupid questions like, hey, how's the weather? Is it snowing? How was your weekend? I don't care about the answers to those questions, and the prospect knows why I'm asking them.
Next time somebody says,
I just want to do more research.
you simply just repeat back the word. That's called mirroring. Now you have to do that in a confused tone. If I say,
research, or what do you mean by research?
they're gonna get defensive. So I just, in a confused tone, I say, research? And they're like,
Yeah, it's just a big decision for us. It's a lot of money.
now I know it's a money concern. Not really, I'm doing more research. You do that, and a lot of times they'll open up and tell you what the real concern is. There you go.
Mirroring is one of my favorite sales techniques. It works especially well when handling objections. You know what? Your price, it's just too high. Too high? Hey, Matt, listen, we're gonna give it the weekend to think about it. Think about it? Hey, Matt, appreciate the call today, but we already have something in place. Something in place? Your tone and how you deliver the mirror, as Jeremy noted, is super important here. So when you do get hit with an objection, you're gonna state back the last 2 to 3 words that the prospect said, and you're gonna deliver it in a bit of an uptone. Too high? Just like that, and it's gonna do a couple things. Number one, it's showing the prospect that, hey, this salesperson is listening to me. And number two, with a mirror, it's typically gonna elicit more information from the prospect, more details behind their objection.
I'm not interested. What do you do when they say that in the first 10 seconds? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to act like you're puzzled. Slow down your cadence in the conversation. If you start talking fast and nervous, well, it makes the prospect get nervous and they click up the phone real quick. So you're gonna do it like this. Pay attention to my tonality. Oh yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. And just so you know, Sally, I'm not quite sure we could even help you yet. We'd have to understand a little bit more about X and Y and Z that you're doing now to see if we could even help you. And if you feel like we can't, we can just end the call, or if you feel like we might be able to do something, we can always set up another time to continue the conversation. Would you be opposed to that? That's the key word there. Would you be opposed to that? Going to be almost impossible for them to say, yes, I would be opposed. Try that next time and see how your prospects react.
I don't hate this. However, I do think the way he handled this objection, it's a little too wordy. When you're on your 3rd or 4th line, that prospect is checked out and they're probably hanging up on you. It's super difficult to overcome. What I like to do in that situation is try to bring some humor to the conversation to see if I could get the prospect on my side. So if they were to say, hey, Matt, listen, thanks for the call, but we're not interested whatsoever, I might come back and say, uh-oh, Chris, it sounds like I completely butchered this pitch here. Or, uh-oh, Chris, you probably think I'm trying to sell you something that you have no need for whatsoever. So I think his objection handler, although it was good, I think it was a bit wordy. I would keep that a bit tighter to try to see if you get that prospect on your side.
After 20 or 30 seconds, they say,
You know what? I know we responded to the ad, but we're pretty happy with the company we use. I don't think we're interested.
now just so you're aware, this is a common knee-jerk reaction from a prospect to a salesperson just trying to get rid of you. If you start to argue with them,
But hey, if you could just give me 2 minutes of your time, sir, I know we can.
done. It's over. The first thing you have to do is what? Learn how to disarm them.
We're pretty happy with the current company that we use.
Yeah, that's not a problem. And just so you're aware, Matt, I'm not sure we could even, help yet. We'd have to understand a bit more about what you're using for XYZ, and I would say the results you're getting from that, just to see if we could even help you, because maybe you're better off staying with the company you already have. Are you opposed to having a conversation around that possibly?
No, I'm not.
Well, let's do this. I should probably ask you, who do you use now for your... So you start off by disarming the prospect by just agreeing with them, which removes the sales resistance.
Non-threatening language, it goes a long way. I agree with Jeremy on this. But an alternative to handling, hey, listen, Matt, we already have something in place, would be to use a label. We already have something in place. Awesome. I figure you would. It sounds like they're doing a great job. And by using that label, it sounds like they're doing an awesome job. That might elicit some information from the prospect of some things they're not doing a great job on. Something as simple as that might be able to book a meeting. And I liked how he used, I think it was a no-oriented question at the end of the clip. Would you be opposed? That's another big one. I'm all about no-oriented questions. People feel safer saying no than yes.
If you're following up with a prospect, you never want to say, and I call it the F-bomb in sales, you never say, hey, John, I'm just following up with you. Kathy, I'm just checking back in. You literally might as well be saying to them, hey, I'm just calling you to get your money, because that's what the prospect thinks when you say follow up or just checking in. So instead, simple, you just relanguage it and say, hey, John, it's James Taylor. I just had time to get back to you. That implies what? That you're busy, that you've got lots of other clients. Relanguage it to what I just showed you, and you're gonna be far more successful as a sales professional.
Big fan of this. I've spoken about this in numerous videos. Just checking in, following up. It's weak language that every other amateur salesperson uses. I really like how he did it. How I typically do it is, Chris, thanks for taking my call. It's Matt with IBM. We spoke 2 weeks ago. You were kind enough to invite me to call you back today, and then go into the reason for the call. That's a professional way to open a follow-up cold call.
Okay, yeah, and the first part of this call, it's pretty basic. It's really more for us to find out, what you might be eligible for, and then kind of, what you have in place now, like when something does happen to you, compared to what you might, feel like you need for the family as far as financial protection, so we can kind of see what that gap looks like to see if we can help. And then towards the end of the call, if you'd like, I can show you some different options we have for our clients. And if you feel that it might be what you're looking for, we can talk about possible next steps. Would that help you? Now, why do I want to be more neutral in the beginning? Because there's no trust, there's no credibility in the first 30 seconds to a minute you have with a prospect. You can't just go in for the kill and at the end of the call, I'm gonna show you the options and I'll show you how to sign up. That's gonna trigger sales resistance with most of your prospects.
This is a solid example of an agenda. So you need to kick your call off with an agenda and an upfront contract. An upfront contract, it's an agreement between the salesperson and the prospect about what's gonna happen at the end of that interaction, the potential outcomes of the call. Chris, by the end of the conversation, I'd like you folks to either be in a position where you're interested and we schedule a good next step that makes sense for your team, or you're not interested, you let me know. You're not gonna hurt my feelings so we can avoid wasting time.
The best way to get ready or warm up before you get on a sales call or give any type of speech is to actually prepare for it. Stop winging it. I see so many salespeople, so many entrepreneurs that get on sales calls, they get on stages and they just freaking wing it, and you can tell, and then they don't have success. Look, if you're on stage and you want to move an audience, if you're on a sales call and you want to actually close the deal, you have to prepare. Good Lord, why would you not prepare if you want to be successful? So it's all about preparation. That is the mother to success, is preparing for that sales call or speech, 100%.
I'm close to an hour into watching Jeremy Miner videos here. It resonates with me, and I've yet to find a video that I disagree with. This is the truth. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. There's too much winging it in sales, and I've done that in the past, and it has never worked for me. The sales professionals out there, the true pros, they practice every single day. And that's what separates them from the amateurs who miss their quota and don't make President's Club.
You know, I'm just really busy today. Can you send me some information in my email and I'll get back to you? Yeah, that's not a problem. Just so I can put together the best information for you, what exactly are you looking for in that? Well, I'm looking to see how your XYZ product can A, B, and C. Ah, okay, that makes more sense. Who do you use now for? And then you go right into your first situation question. Now, after you've taken them through that engagement stage, towards the end of the conversation, you're gonna bring up this question. Okay, so good first call, Jane, that really gives me a better understanding of what's going on. Now, what I can do if you'd like, is I can send you more information, more details about how we could solve X and Y and Z challenge that you brought up to me. Now, let's suppose that you and the firm go through that information and it fits into what you're looking for. What would you want the next step to be at that point? Never send information for a prospect without first finding out if this is a serious person wanting to change your situation.
The classic, send me an email. Send me some information. Classic objection you're gonna get when making cold calls to prospects. I like how Jeremy handled it, but I think this objection handler will give you better results when you're making cold calls. So if I'm making cold calls and I'm hit with, hey Matt, listen, thanks for the conversation, send me an email with some information. Chris, listen, more than happy to send you an email with some information. Chris, I've been doing this a long time, and typically when folks like you tell me to send them an email with information, what they really want to tell me is, listen, Matt, I'm not interested whatsoever. If you do send me an email, it's going right into the trash bin. I am not going to look at it because this is just not of interest to us right now or in the future. Chris, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But is that the case here? And that will really get the true answer from the prospect. Now, if they come back and they say, yeah, listen, Matt, we're really not interested, hang up and move on to the next call. But if they come back and they say, yeah, we really are interested, send us some information, then you want to find out exactly what information they need to see. And then a second question you want to ask is, when can I follow up on this information? Maybe you have a couple weeks to look at that information, and let's set a meeting up and then go for a meeting. But to send me an email, a lot of times, guys, it's just a nice way of saying, listen, I am not interested whatsoever. Try to call that out. They'll appreciate it and they'll laugh at it. Guys, check out this video right here. It's a similar style video of me breaking down and reacting to Andy Elliott sales advice videos. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you.